Hello, I'm the Eternal Newbie. The extra L is for lies, because the DM in today's story lied to the party, then spent the entire session basically ignoring them after he berated them for, role-playing in this tabletop role-playing game. Let's just say he won't be winning any DM of the Year awards, and get to it. For some context, this is my first ever game playing. I'd gotten bit by the D&D bug by playing through Baldur's Gate 3 and watching The Legend of Vox Machina. I decided to join the game as it was advertised to new players by a DM who was somewhat experienced. He was running a homebrewed game taking place on the Sword Coast. The premise of this game was that we would be helping a new and struggling guild find its place in the world. They would be struggling for members, gold, and basically have no reputation whatsoever. We would be starting at level 1 and growing alongside the guild that would act as our home base. I really liked the idea and submitted my application through Discord and got accepted, and added to a separate Discord server. He then started setting the ground rules. He told us that we could play or be anything: aliens, gods, mythological beings, or even futuristic cyborgs. It didn't matter. We weren't given any guidelines other than that. An open book with just about any homebrew available to us. The one thing he was adamant about was we would each have a major secret, and that we couldn't tell others what class we were going to be before the game started. Luckily, I had done my research on character creation as I got no help whatsoever. I decided to stick with a fairly basic character and made a Goliath barbarian using just the basic 2014 rules, as the amount of homebrew options he gave us was super daunting. The others all started making their characters, and that's when the DM started getting upset in the general chat. You see, when he said we could be anything or use any material, he didn't mean that. The other players started making some really wacky builds, apparently, and he did not like that one bit. He started complaining that we needed to take the setting more seriously and needed to make sure our characters meshed well with the world, not be outliers. Oh, rookie mistake taking the DM at his word. The first rule of D&D is never trust anyone, especially the DM. Wait, that's not right. Oh yeah, that's the first rule of hopscotch. But seriously, if you can't trust the DM, it's going to be a long game. Or a short game if you leave, which is what you should do. Because if the DM is going to pull this stuff before the game even starts, you just know the game itself is going to be spectacularly bad. I'm talking honey boo boo levels of bad. So, after a few turned down character concepts for the other players, we finally got started. It starts with us receiving letters to join the guild and each making our way inside. There was basically no description other than there were people around and that we were standing next to each other. Then he asked us, "What do you do?" Well, with us all being new players, we aren't certain. One player asks if he sees anything of note and the DM gets mad. "Don't talk out of character. You are your character. Right now, act like it." We stand around awkwardly and decide to introduce ourselves to one another. It's pretty awkward at first, but the players were all pretty cool, and I love the variety of characters we had. We talked for a bit, sharing some small stuff about our characters. Once done, we asked the DM, in character by the way, "Is there anything noteworthy or interesting in this bar?" Nothing. No word, no response for a solid minute or two. The players all go quiet, uncertain of what to do. The DM finally responds, "Are you guys done yet?" And then waits another minute before sighing and says, "I just want to make sure you were done with all of that," in a very passive-aggressive tone. Apparently, despite this being advertised as a role-play heavy game, he didn't want us to roleplay, or talk amongst ourselves apparently, despite telling us to only talk in character. The mood was soured at that point. I think one player made a joke to try and clear the air a bit, but the DM flatly responded, "Don't do that." We played it out till the end of the session, with the DM basically talking to himself the whole time, unaware that the entire table had completely stopped caring and interacting. After that, the game basically imploded. The cherry on top of it all? The premise of the game, a struggling guild, could not have been further from the truth. What we learned in that first session was that everyone in this guild was crazy strong. Like the front desk girl was capable of casting Power Word Kill. A random guild member NPC made fun of the group stating, "You're so weak. I bet you haven't even killed a Tarrasque before." And the leader of the guild was apparently way stronger than all the others. They had money, influence, power, and everything they could ever want. And there was no reason for our group to be there. We were actively picked on by the guild and told we don't belong. You know, I'm kind of naive when it comes to people. I'm pretty easy to fool. But even I can see the DM was just trolling them. He asked for new players because he knew anyone with experience would have told him where he could cram his guild. Having killed a Tarask? To level 1 players? Players should have been like, yeah, I killed 2 before breakfast this morning. What? Have you only killed 1? That's cute. This totally was a DM taking advantage of new players to play out his little power trip. But enough from me. What do you think? I'd love to hear your comments in comment form and or likes. Likes are deeply appreciated. And if you're new around here, how about dropping a sub? In any case, thank you so much for watching, and as always, play your character. Don't let your character play you.